That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode 185 of The Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where some friends get together, occasionally not really, to celebrate the wonder of professional wrestling. My name is Adam and I'm joined today by Sam.
What do you mean not really?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's been nearly 6 months.
Like we don't really connect on podcasts, or we're not really friends?
Well, we don't get together to do the pod
Oh, okay. But you are my friend. We are friends.
whilst we're recording. Yes.
Right, that's all I want out of
Not
it.
after this episode.
I'm also joined by, I can't remember the order. It's John, Brett's last, isn't it?
Hello.
Yay.
We are brothers, though, right? We are bonded through years of graft and wrestling.
Oh,
Yeah, much
it's not very oosey, is it, John?
much more than friends. Yeah, and now we have the honorary oos. It's Brett.
Hello,
Hello, Brett.
I
Oh my
made
God,
it.
you're here.
I'm here.
So very quickly, we are here to talk about the Royal Rumble and various other bits and bobs. Obviously, I mean, it's more of a test to see if anybody's still subscribed. I'm really intrigued to see how many downloads we get.
Could you imagine how surprised you'd be?
Yeah,
Would anyone even going to notice?
I don't know.
Probably not.
I'll be refreshing the stats page on the hour, every hour. The last podcast we did was a review of WWE SummerSlam and AEW's All Out on the 9th of September 2022.
Oh, not that fast. I thought we had more of a break. That's only, 4 months?
October, November, December, January. Yeah. It's nearly 5 months in like a week. So how have we found the break? Has it been good? What have we all been up to? I thought we should probably address the biggest news, which is that Brett had a bloody baby.
Yeah.
Brett's
Little
wife had a
girl.
baby.
Yeah, actually, Brett did nothing.
Brett was there or thereabouts.
Yes.
Yeah. Were you there or were you in the pub?
I was there.
Yeah, a little girl called China.
No.
Okay, fine. How's that all going?
Amazing. Absolutely knackering.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't ever really take fully into consideration when people say it's going to turn your life upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, yeah, no, it's going to be all right. We don't really get up to much anyway. And yeah, it just flips everything upside down.
Yeah.
I think the big question is, how does baby get on with Harry?
Oh, yeah. Harry the cat.
Please don't tell me Harry has
Are
died.
you about to give us
Oh,
some
yeah,
bad news?
can't deal with that news. Good lord.
Well, it's oh God, I feel awful telling this on thing. It's semi-bad news.
Did you
Harry
get-
hasn't died.
Did you get rid of Harry?
Harry's had to go.
Oh. I
Yeah.
feel like I should have asked this before the podcast.
I feel
At some
like you
point in
should
the
have
last
too.
6 months.
Where's Harry gone?
It played onto my heartstrings. He had to go back to the catch protection because we didn't know anyone who would take him because he is a
He was,
handful.
he was an arsehole. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a shit.
and we thought he might mellow, and we gave him like time, and he just continued to attack in very sort of not very safe moments. So we were like, okay, we've got to do something. And the people he's sort of with the people that host them between, you know, adoption sort of thing, and they were like, don't think they believed us what we said about him, like how he would attack. Like he could be absolutely lovely, and if he's getting his food, he's all right, but you know, if he's not getting stuff when he wants it, he will like rip you to shreds. And we gave them like those warnings about, you know, when they put him up for adoption, and Lucy was checking on their page to see like where he is, and they put all this stuff up, like, you know, he could be with this person, he can do that, and like they'd taken no consideration. And she's checked again, and like that's totally changed. So obviously he showed them the other side to him.
Oh, Harry. So what you're saying is there's still
Wow.
a cat. Harry's up for grabs.
Harry's up for grabs, yeah.
Harry in the bank.
But be
Gotta climb up
warned.
the ladder and get Harry.
Listener,
He is an arsehole.
You could own Harry from Hardest Part of the Ring.
The fifth
Yes.
member.
The fifth member of the
He
pod.
is the fifth member because you bid on it. So, you're going to make me cry now.
Yeah, I mean, this was a really poorly
'Cause-
chosen question
yeah.
in retrospect.
Oh, God.
Damn.
Is this where
Guys,
we
to catch up.
all share bad news? John, what have you been up to? Anything good in the last 4 months? I know you've been doing lots of art.
Lots of art. New job.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
We really don't talk, do we?
We haven't had. Yeah, we haven't
we
caught
talk,
up, have we?
but not like proper catch up.
No. New job. And what is it? Are you I don't know, ring announcer?
Head of Agile at Sussex University, which is just down the road.
Sorry, head of what?
Agile.
Ooh.
That sounds a bit like something a wrestler needs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Head of agility.
There's a lot of gym work.
Very cool.
Sounds very businessy.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Well, I mean, it's at a university. It's not very businessy. It's just trying to herd a load of academics and very outdated IT systems around.
Oh, that's great. Well, congratulations. Sam, any big news on your side? I mean, listener, we must tell you just before the call, Sam showed us 3 massive, what are they called? Dishes of macaroni cheese that he's been bulk cooking. So that's an achievement.
I've been making mac and cheese for the last 6 months. And the 3 dishes, I've named them Adam, Brett and John, and they are... Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's what I've been doing.
Now you're going to consume each of us.
And what about you, Adam?
I've been doing Pod Bible. I've been doing Twitch. Twitch has taken off. It hasn't taken off, but it's been good. I've been loving it. I've been playing more computer games in the last sort of 6 months than I've played in my life. And I'm pretty shit at games, and people enjoy watching that and think it's silly. But yeah, that's been really good fun. Have you delved
back into Counter-Strike yet? Was that still...
No. I thought I'd be playing Counter-Strike and Minecraft, the games that I played when we were at Mind Orchard, and that I played a bit, like quite a lot before I started streaming. Haven't played either of those, so maybe one day. But lots of things like Rust, Among Us, we've started playing recently, and a few bits and bobs like that. But yeah, it's been cool. But it's quite nice to record the pod and know that the only people watching are just you 3.
Yeah, do you get really paranoid about hair and all sorts? I don't know. Yeah,
well, I do get paranoid about...
You don't look it. You look like you're natural and calm as anything. Showing people what's in your freezer.
Oh, Brett's been watching. Brett's a lurker.
I've seen some, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is... I don't know. It's quite weird when I think about the fact that people are actually watching, but because I'm just sat at my desk, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Apart from life stuff, though, what about wrestling? Because we didn't even have a goodbye, did we? We just stopped.
No, it was weird how we finished it, actually.
Yeah. I think people got the idea that we were starting to get a bit fed up with watching and trying to keep up to date with everything.
It just got so hard, didn't it, at the end? Like, just to organise it, and it was...
Yeah. But I personally haven't been watching anything up until the Rumble, anything at all. So that's my update. But I know you 3 have been kind of keeping up to date with things. Have you, Sam? You're watching AEW but no WWE?
So I watch AEW probably fortnightly. It's okay. Not pulling up any trees.
I was going to say, I got the impression sort of like we sort of got fed up and then missed a little bit of like a return to form. And then we've come back just as,
So I've not been watching WWE, and I haven't missed it at all. I have been watching New Japan.
Oh,
so it feels quite nice to kind of just be watching like wrestling without having to think about, am I critical of this? Do I like this? Do I not like this? What are all the politics around it? Just basically watching Okada beat the shit out of people is a good way.
You've regressed to what you were doing before we started the pod in a way, just loving watching New Japan, watching Okada beat the shit out of people.
Batch cooking food.
Batch cooking macaroni and cheese.
That's my life.
Yeah. Have you been watching much, John? You've sort of been keeping tabs, no? Or
not really. Like, I started watching Survivor Series and only made it 2 matches. I start watching the occasional Dynamite, but very rare. I've never gotten to the end of an episode recently.
Yeah. So a lot of the takes that people are going to hear are totally like we don't know what's going on. Not that we
still
really
love
did.
Wrestling. It's just I don't know why. I just can't. I find it so hard to watch.
I mean, the thing is, like,
we went hard for 5 years.
This kind of goes into why we sort of stopped the pod. Is that we like wrestling, but we also watched it basically non-stop for 5 years. And that's kind of like, it doesn't really matter what you love. If you do it every week for 5 years, it gets a little bit burdensome.
I feel kind of gutted that I missed like Aussie Open's big emergence on New Japan.
And they were in AEW a few times, weren't they? Or was that just to do with the crossover?
Yeah, no, they are. So United Empire has been Will Ospreay's new faction, which has kind of come out from all of our time away. That's been quite good.
Yeah. I mean, so there's some huge stuff that's happened since we've been off. Obviously, all the Vince stuff. Did that happen just after we stopped?
We did an entire podcast about Vince retiring.
Did we?
You did, yeah.
It's aged like a fine wine.
Right, I don't remember that at all. But actually, now you say it. Okay, but what has happened is that WWE, so Triple H sort of took the reins a bit and rehired a load of people, gave people their second names back. And it seemed like
that in the Rumble
got
actually,
pretty good. Yeah, it seems that from what I've heard, like things were doing well. People were getting pushes who deserved to get pushes. It wasn't just the big guys. Lots of NXT talent making the main roster.
All the numbers are up as well. I think viewers figures have gone up, like attendances have gone up.
But we're not allowed nice things, are we?
No. Well, anyway, we're going to talk about the Rumble in a minute. I definitely enjoyed watching it without
Me
any
too.
pressure. I was just going to... Basically, we had a chat and we said we were going to try and watch the Rumble matches, and I ended up watching the whole event over the course of a couple of days.
It was 4.5 hours, the whole pay.
Yeah.
Crazy how long it was.
I skipped through the women's match, which is quite disrespectful, but I thought I was going to skip through everything, and then I ended up being like, well, I'm going to watch this Mountain Dew match to see what a car crash it is, and then it was the other Rumble in the main event. So anyway,
I watched the whole thing.
Oh,
I didn't
Brett,
intend to. I started watching the Rumble not last night but the night before, and like 10 minutes in I just fell asleep.
classic.
And I was like, oh no. And then so I ended up trying to watch it yesterday, and I watched like half the Rumble, the men's Rumble, in like the day, and then just the day was gone. So at night I actually managed to watch the rest.
Nice.
Amazed. I stayed awake.
Did you watch the pre-show? Was there a pre-show?
Yeah, I didn't watch the pre-show.
They did press conferences like New Japan.
Oh, really?
There's like a video on the
very
network, you could watch the press
New-Japan-esque.
conference. Yeah, I didn't watch
That's
it, but I
cool.
saw it on there.
But it was nice to watch it, as you say, just as a piece of entertainment, not like work, and I didn't have my notebook. I didn't even get my notebook out and make any notes. I just
I made one note.
I mean, I made a couple of notes on my phone, but I didn't get my notebook out. Is the key.
It feels like if there's one event that you probably do want to make notes for, it's this one.
I know. I remember Rumbles of the past writing down all the entrants in my notebook. But, I mean, there's the internet. There's all the entrants listed everywhere. That wasn't needed.
Long since stopped making notes when we were recording. I think.
That was a week 2 thing,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I was with that. Not to Adam's extent, but I definitely needed to have notes. Although I never referred to them, but I just needed to know they were there.
Yeah, I've written down a few bits.
I think I got annoyed at not being able to talk about bits I'd noted down in the first few times we did it. I was like, I made all these notes and I had this and that, and then we were past those moments, and I was like, I didn't get to, and I just got annoyed at it. So I was just like, I'm just gonna go off what you guys say, and my mind's remembering those bits.
Well, you did pretty well considering, because I certainly wouldn't have remembered as much. But yeah, should we have a little break and then come back and actually talk about the event?
Yeah.
Bam! Right to the throat on the apron, which is the hardest part of the entire ring. And we can't stress that enough.
Okay, the WWE Royal Rumble 2022 was held at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio.
Alamo Dome?
The Alamo.
Oh, God, that makes so much more sense. Alamo Dome.
Remember the Alamo? Wait. Remember the Alamo?
Alamo.
The Alamo.
The Alamo Dome.
It's weird having a US stadium that isn't named after like TNT or the Mountain Dew Arena. Or
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Old podcast me would have re-recorded that, but we're going to carry on. San Antonio, Texas, with an attendance of 51,338. Comms team with Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and the returning Pat McAfee. So that's something that happened. He left to go and work where, at ESPN or something. He's doing proper sports, and he came back especially for this. People were very happy to see him.
Michael Cole was very happy to see him.
Yeah,
He was never
know what?
a permanent fixture though, was he? I thought he just guest appeared on stuff.
I think he was kind of.
He had a big
permanent.
run of it.
Yeah,
He was kind of like the Thunderdome commentator.
those were those were the end days, Brett, when you hardly ever did the pod.
So I I feel like I've come full circle multiple times on Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him
Because
on this.
when he came out, I was really excited and happy to see him.
He is good. He does do a good job, I think. Yeah, I think we're fans again.
Wow, all it's taken is a 5-month break, and we're all Pat McAfee fans.
I know. Sam, do you want to do the card for old time's sake?
Yeah, sure.
Someone's excited.
Okay. Your opening match, you had a Royal Rumble men's. That was Gunther taking on Sheamus, taking on... Second match, you had a Mountain Dew pitch black match. That was LA Knight taking on Bray Wyatt. Had the Women's Raw Championship on the line. Bianca Belair defending against Alexa Bliss. Had the Women's Royal Rumble. So Royal Rumble for women. And then main event, we had Roman Reigns defending against Kevin Owens.
It's crazy how few matches there are. I know obviously there's 2 Rumbles.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
but still, 4.5 hours.
Yeah. Well, the end was very long, but we'll get into that.
Roman's entrance was about half an hour. I
True.
think.
They had a lot of packages throughout, like about wrestlers, but not about matches.
Yeah.
There was like these really
Brock
weird,
Lesnar
like,
one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go
so
on,
I can explain that.
Sam's got the reasoning.
It's basically it's shoulder content. So what's happening is Royal Rumble is going out to broadcast on like Peacock or wherever, right? And WWE now do multiple tiers of subscription. So what happens is those breaks where they're doing like these wrestler packages, those are advertising breaks in other regions that they've sold
Right, okay.
advertising for.
I mean,
It's weird.
That makes sense.
When we were giving Sam the chance to talk about what he'd been doing and then we focused on the macaroni cheese, should have said
didn't.
that you've actually been doing amazing like live content, sports, motion graphics, events.
Yeah, I've gotten into bed with YouTuber boxing. Like that's basically my life now, as I do stadium graphics for YouTubers.
How cool is
and
that?
then think how fucking rich these like 18-year-olds are.
Yeah.
Kills me.
That could have been us if we started this podcast a few years earlier.
I know, right?
Weren't some graphics that you did in a recent Wiz Khalifa video, which is the worst song and
They
video
were.
of all time, but still pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my graphics are part of one of the worst music videos of all time, and all I know Wiz Khalifa from is getting powerbombed off a stage by Kevin Owens.
Absolutely
So-
perfect.
Yeah, it all comes full circle.
Cool. Well, let's talk about the Royal Rumble then. The men's, I was obviously very happy when it kicked off with the men's Royal Rumble. Wasn't expecting that. But I think when I heard that happen, that made me more keen to watch because I was thinking, oh, I'll have to skip through a bit. But knowing that it came straight in.
Can I
Go on.
ask, like, just straight off the bat, who was everyone's kind of, oh, you're still employed wrestler?
Oh my
Johnny
gosh.
Gargano for me. Like, oh,
Really?
yeah, I was surprised actually. Gargano.
Oh, for me, it was Ricochet.
Ooh. I knew that Ricochet and Braun would be doing stuff because I still follow Braun Strowman on Instagram. I don't think I'll ever
Right,
stop.
okay.
I can't believe they're a tag team. That's great. That's got big Kane Xbox vibes. I like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there was
Wait,
anyone.
did you call him Xbox?
Xbox, yeah. That's
You
what I
could.
heard.
That's perfect. That's what the listeners want. It's John to get a name wrong.
All the hits.
Yeah, maybe Johnny Gargano. I can't really think. I haven't made any notes of anybody else.
I think he was the only person that I was surprised.
I just completely forgot he existed almost.
Well, I felt the same when in the women's when oh my god, I'm really bad. What's his wife called?
Candice LeRae.
Candice
Oh,
LeRae.
no, I remember Candice LeRae.
No, but when she tipped it, I was like, oh, of course, yeah, these are Triple H people.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so what do? Just talk about moments, any standout moments, any favourite bits?
Do you want me to just run through the competitors and you can just give us a quick sentence on how each of
We can
them...
react.
Yeah.
Go on.
Because, I mean, like, we got a good one to start with Gunther.
An amazing performance.
Right?
He's doing so well as well. Like, he's been Intercontinental Champion for ages.
I still
so-
don't like Slim Walter.
It does still look weird.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
He
But-
needs the girth to be as scary
Yeah.
and threatening as he used to be.
Because now he's in between. He's not like a big chunk, and he's not like really ripped. He's just
No.
a big
Fucking
guy.
Lifted,
And also-
lifted brawn though.
Without but without the girth, when he was in this Rumble, seeing him like against Sheamus, it was like, oh, you're not that big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing him
Yeah.
against like Karrion Cross, oh, you're not that big. Like all these guys,
Yeah.
like okay, you're.
But, I
It
mean,
took away,
he put on
like-
the performance of the Rumble,
He
right?
did.
Like, he went an hour, 10 minutes, had some big
5
moments,
eliminations.
just generally.
Gave Cody like what 3 chops in his chest was like
Yeah.
That was good.
raw meat.
Target the peck.
So, number 2, and I'm going to team him up with number 9 here, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, who spent the entire Rumble as a tag team, just basically bitching on people, and I
both those
loved
guys.
it.
Yeah, I like both of them.
You've always loved Sheamus, John.
I do. Andrew Mack, and like seeing him against Gunther, you realise how massive Drew Mack is. Like he's taller,
He's huge
wider.
too, yeah.
The stuff it makes you appreciate the stuff he does even more. Because
I guess we must realise that we watched Gunther. I prefer Walter.
Yeah,
We watched him, you know, against all the indie guys over here.
Yeah,
You know,
and he just
Riptide and
dwarfed
stuff.
them.
So he dwarfed everyone because indie guys are
he's
small.
the biggest person I've ever seen. He's gigantic.
We'll run through a few here. Miz, Kofi Kingston, Johnny Gargano, Xavier Woods.
Yeah, they're all there.
Should we talk about the Kofi Kingston botched
Yeah,
chair
the
spot?
botch spot.
I would love to count up like the amount of times Kofi has botched his Royal Rumble spot,
'Cause he
and
botched
the
it
amount of
last
times
year,
he's
didn't he?
landed it, because I reckon he's probably close to 50-50 at this point.
It looked nasty, didn't it? I thought he'd smacked his head on the desk. It looked kind of bad, but that wasn't the worst head.
I
smashing
feel a
we saw
bit
that night.
sad about the New Day, seeing them these days.
They're NXT tag team champs.
Are they really?
Kofi
That
and
makes me
Xavier
feel
Woods
even
are NXT tag team champs. I saw.
One of the greatest tag teams of all
Okay.
time. They're verging onto the Rockers territory now, though, aren't they?
It's a bit.
Yeah, and Big E is still out with that injury. I take it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, he must still be.
Karrion Kross. Now, the last I remember Karrion Kross, he was this skinny bald man who was suplexing people, got super over, and then got fired basically instantly because he had a terrible debut. And now I'm sure they've changed the person who plays into this guy with hair,
No.
who I thought was like part of Sin or something. Is that?
I can't even remember.
Was he part of that Control Your Narrative right-wing wrestling thing?
Oh,
No, I don't think so.
Okay, sorry, I might have accidentally.
Maybe he did an event. He
Connected
might have
to
done
that.
an event, but I don't know for sure.
Anyway, he doesn't look like Karrion Kross anymore, does he?
No.
He looks really
No.
weird.
He looks like Wade Barrett pretending to be Karrion
It
Kross.
looks
He
like
did look
you
weird.
accidentally like lost the head of your Action Man, and all you could find was like a weird, like your sister's Ken doll or something. It's weird.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of the many people in the men and the women's where it's like, oh shit, it really shows that when your contract gets, cancelled, it means absolutely nothing in this industry.
Yeah,
You'll probably be back, repackaged, new look at some point. So many people who I thought had gone and are now back.
My favourite and yours, Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Chad Gable.
Shoosh. Is this a new thing?
Absolutely not.
Anyone know what that's about? I had no idea.
Yeah,
No.
so he basically started to get over.
Yeah.
He started to get over with this whole running a training academy with Otis as Alpha Academy.
Does sound good.
Which in and of itself is quite funny, the fact that kind of Chad Gable obviously came from a tag team where he was the important part and Jason Jordan was kind of less so.
Poor old Jason
Meanwhile,
Jordan.
Otis of Tucker and Otis fame was again the important part of the tag team, and they've kind of I say cut the chaff off. Obviously, Jason Jordan had a very unfortunate early retirement, but they got rid of Tucky.
yeah.
God knows where he is, and teamed up Chad and Otis, and I like it. It works.
When
It's a
Otis
fun tag
came
team.
out, I laughed so much. His body shape does
Mad.
not make sense.
Mad as a boxer.
It's so funny.
It's a bit like Rhino, that sort of shape, or like
yeah,
Yeah,
kind of that
tugboat.
thwomp look.
It's like no
Can
neck,
they,
no
um,
shoulders, just a big circle with arms sticking out of it. It's literally like someone's got potato and just stuck some cocktail sticks. in it.
I know this might not be like great for the guy who I'm suggesting, but they should bring up Bron Breakker and chuck him with Chad Gable. They can do
Ooh.
a Steiner brother type thing.
Oh,
I mean, the thing is
That
that
would be
Chad
immense
Gable-
because Chad Gable is immense.
Chad Gable is, in my opinion, like one of the best people on the roster, and is kind of. I hate to say comedy wrestling is beneath him, but
God, we're doing all the hits today. Big enough Chad Gable.
Yeah, we are.
anyway,
We've only got our
Drew
old
Mac,
opinions to rely on.
Drew McIntyre, we've obviously already discussed. He's still a beast. Santos Escobar, Angelo Dawkins.
Escobar was funny because we came in the ring. He obviously didn't know what he was doing, sort of, and then he did a crazy move off the top. It was weird. It was just a bit.
Yeah.
I feel like I was watching this Rumble the whole way through. I didn't like take my eyes off it. I was watching it. I was zoned in. I missed so many eliminations.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you when he got eliminated.
But basically, there weren't many eliminations for a long time, and then Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and Seth freaking Rollins turn up as your next 4, which is a great mid-Rumble turn-up, right?
It is, especially Baron Corbin being in there for 7 seconds.
This was my only note. Was he also accompanied to the ring by JBL?
Yes.
He was,
I thought of you, John. I was like, what is JBL doing here?
With Baron Corbin, God.
It's so weird, isn't it? I mean, I can't believe he's still going with the Happy Corbin.
Yeah, that seems tired now.
Stuff. I thought he would have changed profession by now.
He's just so he'll just put over any face. It's fantastic. He's still doing it.
I sort of love Baron Corbin at this point.
We all do. All 4 of us.
Is he modern day Mr. Perfect?
Oh.
If Mr. Perfect was a terrible wrestler and always drunk, which he actually
Brett's
was.
nodding. Brett's nodding. He agrees. He agrees with he is Mr. Perfect.
I had Seth freaking Rollins as who I wanted to win it and who I thought would get final 2. I was sad he didn't, but
he got.
It's interesting. Yeah. Otis, obviously we've discussed already. Rey Mysterio, no shows.
So this is controversial, right? Because everybody expected him to come in later because he didn't turn up, I think. Or there's got to be a 30th person. They only had 29 people.
It's a bit rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They should have had like someone from Judgment Day come out in his mask and just be like, "I'm Rey Mysterio." That would have been a good take the piss or something.
Maybe they should have dragged Michelle McCall out a bit early.
Get one
she
of
was front row seats.
One of the kids.
She was ready to rumble.
Ray no shows. Dominic, how are we feeling about Dominic and his whole?
I like his.
He's come a long way, hasn't he?
Yeah, I thought he looked quite good in this match, and I was okay with his look.
Okay,
I don't mind his look.
It's a goth look.
I'm not comfortable with him calling Rhea Ripley Mammy.
No. And the Danger Mouse inscription on his back.
Yeah, I thought that when I saw the DM too. Danger Mouse. Why has he got a Danger Mouse jacket?
Yeah. Elias.
Back as Elias?
Oh, yeah, there was another one I was surprised.
Yeah, me too.
Still there.
Yeah, he cut up the back of Gunther with his guitar to see there was a bit of blood.
Was that how that happened?
Nice. Yeah. Finn Balor, Booker T, Damian Priest, Montez Ford, Edge, Austin Theory, Omos.
Okay.
Booker T looked pretty good. I quite enjoyed that.
That was fun.
He did a spinny, Rooney.
You've got to have some legend. I mean, because really, if you look at this list, there's not any. There's no other legends.
He was the only one.
Really.
Yeah.
It was a good pop for Booker as well. Kind of big event in Texas, all of that.
Yeah.
Who was there? Someone else in that list you just said, Sam? That
Edge.
Edge. Oh, huge pop! Unbelievable pop for Edge.
Oh, so I mean that was his first return.
Oh, was
from last time we saw him when shit went wrong with Judgment Day and he teamed up with Rey Mysterio.
I mean, it's probably the biggest pop of the night, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, Sami Zayn would say otherwise.
Well,
but
actually, that was a big pop as well.
I like Judgment Day, by the way. I think it's a cool faction. I think they look cool. I like the wrestlers they've got involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
like
makes
Judgment
Damian
Day
Priest
too.
a bit more interesting.
I like Damian Priest.
I mean, I think
like
Damian Priest is a good
but
wrestler.
I like the rest of them.
And obviously Austin Theory, US champion.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he lost his
Does anyone care
Money
about
in the
the
bank
US champion ever?
I don't know how he lost his briefcase because he had that, didn't he?
I thought he cashed it in for the US championship.
Oh, really?
He had a couple of false cash-ins.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
Austin Theory, he had a great Mr. Perfect selling moment in this Rumble, though, didn't he? What move did he take? And he just sold it brilliantly.
I think I made a note of that actually. That he's fucking great at selling. And
Yeah,
we used to
it
think
was awesome.
Theory
It was
is
like
really good at
Mr.
selling.
Perfect comedy, like really OTT.
Selling the stomp. It was
fell
the
to the
stomp.
ground, bounced back up.
The curb stomp.
It was the stomp, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh yeah, because he
He's,
took it and then he sort of his whole body went up in the air while his head was still like on the ground. It was really
Yeah,
cool.
but then he ended up back on his feet stumbling.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like when
so
he took
good.
the
Yeah.
stunner. When he took the stunner from Vince.
Omos.
Big dude.
How the hell are they going to eliminate Omos, who is teamed up with MVP now?
Yeah.
Good for him.
I think that happened
Yeah, I think
towards the end of our.
I think you're right.
Here's the thing, like I'm pretty sure that in like the 5 months that we've not been watching, I feel like Omos has kind of been Akira Tozawa's henchman. He then became AJ Styles' henchman. He then
Oh
became
yeah, I remember him being AJ.
someone, his own guy, and now he's MVP. I don't know. I don't care.
He makes Braun look good, I'd say.
Well, Braun, number 27.
Happy to see him back. Happy again. There were a fallow few months watching him do shitty shows in sports centres and signing up, like doing partnerships with vitamin companies and nut butter companies, following him on Instagram. A sad man. He broke up with Raquel Rodriguez, who he loved. He deleted all the photos of them together as a couple on Instagram. It's been tough. It's been rough on
Wow.
Braun. It's great to have him back in there.
I did think, especially when I saw Braun and I think Bray as well later, I was just thinking there's some wrestlers that there's just, if it's not WWE, there's no job out there for them.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that's been proved
That's
correct.
such a damning indictment.
But they sort of work in WWE, you know, like
yeah.
there's somewhere they work, but it doesn't fit anywhere else. And that whatever right to whatever they called themselves was just as cringe as it gets.
Oh, yeah, that's create your narrative.
Create your
Last
narrative.
3, Ricochet, Logan Paul, and Cody Rhodes.
Logan Paul is so conflicting, right?
Spot of the Rumble, though.
Oh, I hate the guy.
Unbelievable spot. An amazing spot. I hate the guy too.
We're supposed to
Gets
hate
hit
him.
by a bus.
Yeah.
But, man, he's good.
So
Really good.
the thing with Logan Paul, first of all, yeah, he's an absolute piece of shit, and not like playing a character piece of shit, like he's just a real life piece of shit.
Yeah.
That said, he has that thing that you want to bring to wrestling, which is so important, which is essentially that whole thing that all the way back to episode 1 when Adam was talking about Gorgeous George and how, like, if you can make an entire arena of people hate you, that's money. Logan Paul can do that. He is wildly talented athletically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that spot,
Got the
just
charisma.
like
Insane.
Yeah,
I had
For
to
someone that's
rewind
not
it.
a wrestler as well.
to do that
It's-
with Ricochet, one of the
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
high flyers, and neither of them, he
Do
didn't
you know
fall
what?
short. They equaled each other on that spot.
The thing for me is, like, that big spot, yeah, it's impressive. It's really impressive. Spot of the night as well. But, like, his buckshot lariat is good.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, it's all right. It's fucking...
Yeah,
He gets the momentum. He makes it. And it's such a perfect move for him to really take the piss out of AEW and go for them. It is very clever. As much as I dislike Logan Paul and I don't want him to have anything to do with anything I do, which is very difficult when I
do
do
YouTube
doing
boxing.
bloody YouTuber boxing.
Yeah. I think you're just bitter. He pays your wages and you hate it.
But is this not the bonus of YouTuber boxing? Is you get to watch them all get beat
I
up
mean,
all the time?
The reality is YouTuber boxing, whether people like it or hate it, is popular because basically you get to see people you dislike punch each other.
Yeah, it's celebrity deathmatch. But
Yeah, that is exactly that.
I used
Brett,
to love that show.
Brett,
I was saying when Logan Paul came in though, I was like saying to Lucy, I wish, Rowdy Roddy Piper was still alive and able to be in this, because people like him came along, he just used to beat him up for real in the ring.
Yes.
He didn't like any of these like celebrities
the
getting in
reality
the
is,
wrestling
like,
ring. He just
Wrestling
knock 'em
is
about.
just not like that anymore. Like, kind of, even if there was a JBL in the ring, like,
I don't
that
know.
would've-
A few
he
chops
would've
from
done
water would probably...
yeah.
but like, I think kind of there's a level of respect now in that
Professionalism.
ring where you're not going to get people going hard. Kind of, do you remember Undertaker going after Maven after Maven eliminated him from the Rumble? He basically
Meanie
kills
as
him
well.
with a chair.
I do feel like Brock Lesnar would still, he keeps the receipts. If
Yeah, fair enough.
but yeah, sorry, Brett, you were going to say that. Well, you did say that you went back and like kept on watching that spot. I kept on
did.
looping it, and that sound is disgusting, absolutely
Oh,
disgusting.
it was just like the speed. It just like because they showed loads of different angles, but it was just that first angle was the one that made it look amazing.
Yeah,
Like the
Yeah.
wide shot, just seeing them both springboard like, and just in no time, just like
It's
they
incredible.
reached the middle of the ring. I was just
I can't believe I've
Astounded.
never seen that before in
No,
wrestling.
never seen it.
yeah.
I don't think so. I have. Yeah, that's crazy.
You think like, of all the high flyers in the world, there would have been two wrestlers who were like, yeah, let's do this, like a Will Ospreay and a Ricochet even.
I mean, yeah, maybe they have. But
No, they probably
Yeah,
have in New
but
Japan, to
it's
be
just,
fair.
it seems crazy.
It's very
So
dangerous. Yeah.
So dangerous.
To fall from that height. And then I was
fair
looking, I was
play,
like,
though.
Ricochet's landing so bad. And then I was like, oh, Logan's Paul, his landing is so bad too.
But, so, number 30, Cody Rhodes. who-
5 eliminations, wins it.
Obviously, we haven't been watching wrestling over the last few months, but even like I could have told you before this Rumble that Cody Rhodes is going to win this Rumble.
Yeah.
Well, this was his comeback, right? We saw
100%.
his debut his re-debut, his comeback to WWE, and we saw him get injured, and then we took a break, and then we've come back and he's won the Rumble. So is it down to us?
I still love Cody Rhodes.
Really, I'm so
Yeah.
I'm so meh about him.
I hate the going back to WWE aspect, because he seemed to be like one of the guys setting up AEW, and it's all about making it better for wrestlers, and that just seemed to be a load of tosh.
Well, I mean,
But
he has made it better for wrestlers. He's created an entire alternate promotion for people to go to.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is true, but I just mean like the
I mean,
the contracts and all that stuff. But having said that, I love I love the drop, the old Goldust, like drop to the back punches.
It's a
Like there's
classic.
just so many of his moves that are classics, but they're just tight and look great.
Cody Rhodes, I don't think will ever be fully appreciated in his time for how much he is passionate about wrestling and how much he loves it. And I think he's a little bit unlikable, which makes it kind of difficult sometimes to be into it. But he is someone who is absolutely lives and breathes wrestling, and he shows it through his pedigree, not his actual pedigree, which was kind of crap.
That was
But his history with wrestling and how much adoration he has for his dad and even his brother. Like, a lot of wrestlers, they're not going to be like doing a Goldust spot halfway through that, because quite frankly, Goldust never was even on the radar of most people, but you can tell how much it means to him by doing stuff like that. And so this whole story, this whole kind of ultimately WrestleMania moment where he's going to win the title for his dad, and it's going to be coming out in polka dot fucking trunks, I reckon, and all of that. And it's just like, do you know what? It's hard not to love that, like, just because of the history, not just with him, but with Goldust and with Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah. Someone's got to win that title off Roman anyway. But we'll get to that, because there could be somebody else in the running. I genuinely don't know. There could be all sorts of other people in the running, just haven't been watching it. Should we do the same straight away for the women's? Or should we discuss a couple of the things in between before we do the list? Let's just do the women. Come on. Straight into it. Number one in the women's. Do you want to do the same, Sam?
Number 1, number 2, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan.
So there you go. So that's interesting. So entrant 30 wins the men's. Entrant 1 wins the women's.
Rhea Ripley
Amazing.
set a record for longest time in the Rumble, as well as winning from the number 1 spot. That is a big shout for the records.
They seem to be going all in on her, and rightly so, right? Because Charlotte was nowhere to be seen on this pay-per-view. I don't know. I know she's the champ, but I don't know. Maybe they just didn't.
She's
need
the
a
champ,
match.
and I don't think people were happy about it.
Oh, really?
It's just like the champ. Like, she's always the champ by default, right? She's just like
And
you could not watch wrestling for 5 years and come back, and Charlotte will still be champs.
Do you know what, actually? In regards to this Women's Royal Rumble, what I do think is really great is that every other Royal Rumble we've seen of the women's ones previously has basically been cart out all of the older stars.
There are hardly
it's
any
always
of them
been
this
like
time.
making up the numbers, whereas this time there was Michelle McCool and that was it. And so fair play. Like, I didn't recognise a lot of the women in this. I haven't been keeping up nearly as much as I should have.
I liked that though.
But
it was fun, wasn't it, to get some new
That's-
NXT?
It was
Fantastic.
much better, I thought, this women's rumble than previous ones.
Oh, I didn't love the women's rumble.
I thought it was boring, if I'm honest. I don't think there was any moments of any note up until the end. But
I thought the last final four for the women's rumble was really cool.
So, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Dana Brooke, and Emma.
Yeah, I can't believe Emma. Is that? I guess she's not in. Is this just like a one-off?
She's in
comeback?
SmackDown.
No, I think
Is she
she's
really?
back.
According to Wikipedia,
Yeah.
she's part of SmackDown.
Yeah,
I
that was my
miss
first.
Emma.
Well, my first surprise was Dana Brooke is still.
Yeah,
Employed.
she's still there.
Yeah.
Then my second surprise was Emma. Like, what's she
I mean,
doing
to be
there?
fair, like the whole surprise of them being employed, you can almost say this for, I would say, 90% of this women's roster here. But
Yeah.
Natalia would be number one on that
Wasn't
list.
Dana Brooke the one
Never
that
get rid of
bloodied
her.
up Rhea Ripley's nose?
maybe.
I enjoyed
Not
that,
sure.
Rhea smearing the blood.
Yeah, she did that quite early
Oh, I
on.
thought that was Lacey Evans because I thought it was lipstick.
No,
think it was
she
blood, yeah.
got a bloody nose because Dana Brooke botched something with Rhea Ripley early on, and like she was down, and she sort of like she was the other side of the ring, so it was hard to see, but it looked like it was bright red under her nose.
Damn.
And I was like, that can't be Shadow. And she crawled to the side and like sort of looked at a ref, and the ref came to check her, obviously, to see if everything was okay. And I was like, oh god, like early on, and she's broken her nose or something.
Wow,
I'm not going to lie,
she's
Rhea
hardcore.
Ripley spent 90% of this Royal Rumble lying down.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to if you're going to
The
go
Chris
the whole,
Jericho
the
special.
whole
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
An hour and 1 minute she was in there.
Number 5, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, just doing Shayna Baszler things.
I thought she looked worse than.
I think Shayna Baszler looks like she's gone off the boil, and I think that's sad because I think she could have been a very dominant champion.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was. But she just didn't look even like half as good as she used to. Like with throwing any
yeah.
kicks or punches, they
she
just
just-
look so slow. And
I just think she looks a little bit disinterested, if I'm honest.
yeah, maybe.
Number 6, my pick to win it, actually, Bayley.
Oh,
Love Bailey. Love.
I love Bayley.
What's it called? Damage
Killing it.
control.
Damage control.
Damage
Oh
control.
my God.
Good.
Yeah,
Could you?
Really
they were
good.
really good.
Io Shirai.
I love the
Dakota
way they
Kai, amazing.
stuck together when they were all
I
in
mean-
there throughout.
Yeah.
This
Like-
was the story of this Rumble, wasn't it? Was Damage Control basically dominating the whole thing, and that was
Yeah.
really good.
Because so often you have tag teams or like stables in there, and they're off here and there and fighting their own people.
Yeah.
But they actually like basically went around sort of targeting people and sticking together, which was, you know, obviously the thing you should do if you've got
If you look,
multiple.
if you look on the Wikipedia,
Big group of people: B-Fab, Roxanne Perez, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Natalia, Candice LeRae, Zoe Stark, Shia Lee.
I thought the NXT ones was Perez and Stark looked really good.
yeah,
Yeah,
I like Roxanne Perez.
She looked really good when she came in. I had no idea who she was, but
Nope.
everything was smooth and fluid.
Yeah,
like,
really nice.
I don't know enough about Zoe Stark. I don't really like, to be honest. Like, no one there. I was kind of super into. I like Damage Control. I like Dakota and Io, but it's also like their role at the moment is henchmen, so it's always going to be a bit limited.
just on Brett's point about them like sticking together on the Wikipedia where it says who eliminated who, Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky together eliminated Dana Brooke, Shayna Baszler, Roxanne Perez, and Natalia, and they're listed all three of them together. So yeah, they were really keeping together as a
That's
team.
neat.
yeah.
So Becky Lynch, number 15.
Yeah. It's always like a little surprise when her music hits. You're like, oh shit, yeah, massive star. I love Becky Lynch.
Super gone off the boil though, right? Like, kind of the moment she had, like, she was the biggest thing in wrestling for about 2 months.
Longer than that. It was before Christmas, wasn't it? She became
Oh.
huge, and then going into Rumble, Nia Jax broke her nose.
As Brett will tell you, if when you're the biggest thing in some sort of wrestling entertainment and then you go and have a baby, it's hard to come back.
Speaking of people who have come back and I had no idea they were back, Tegan Knox.
Really happy.
Yeah.
Again,
it's good to see her.
that's a big Triple H thing. I think he was always a fan of her in the what was the women's version of the Cruiserweight Classic called?
Mae Young.
Meg-
Oh yeah,
Meg-
yeah. She did well there, and then got the contract. And I think he's a big fan. But she's great. I love her. From when we used to see her in the Indies.
Yeah, really good.
She's had some terrible injuries. I think she did one
She's
knee
done
and then
both
did
her
the,
knees,
then did the
hasn't
other.
she?
Yeah.
Both ACLs, isn't she?
I've never.
So shiniest wizards.
Oh my god!
I've still
They
never
take their
seen
toll.
it.
Commentary team could not get over that move, could they? Shiny
Yeah.
with shiny.
I just don't get it with Tegan Knox. I'm just like, I just don't get it at all.
Asuka. The comeback.
Asuka coming back
Looked
with her
amazing.
new kind of Psycho Canna persona that she used to use back in Stardom, I think.
Okay.
Long ago. The persona that she had when she got beaten up by Minoru Suzuki.
Perfect.
I've still never seen that. Never once.
Any idea how long Asuka was out for? I didn't like why she was out.
November, somewhere around there.
Oh,
I feel
wow.
like.
Biggest pop
Quite a
at
long
the
time.
Women's Rumble by a mile.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
great that she's so
Always a
over.
pleasure to see her.
Yeah,
so
And
good.
she like throughout this, and whenever you see her wrestle, whatever's happening, she's just loving it. Like
Yeah.
she looks like she's loving it,
Yeah.
does.
and all her characters are good fun, and she's just the best.
Piper Niven. Always happy
Yeah,
to see
got her
Piper.
name back.
Not-
Yeah,
Not Dewdrop.
No silly Dewdrop.
Such a crap
Yeah.
name.
Honestly, like the best thing Triple H and Stephanie did was undoing so much of the damage. Like
Yeah,
there
but
was no
then-
stupid Nikki Cross butterfly gimmick. There
yeah.
was no bloody Dewdrop. There was no Shorty G. It was just
Shorty
nice.
G.
Who comes in after Piper Niven though?
Okay,
Tamina.
Tamina.
No, no one means
And
Tamina
they-
is still employed.
They built her like she was some big hitter as well. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my days.
She always has that stare down spot. Like, it's a big deal. Like, why? No one likes.
I'm
mean,
still
that
not
wasn't
sure
even
that
the worst
Tamina
spot.
knows where she is. Okay, so Chelsea Green. This is super interesting because she obviously got eliminated in 5 seconds despite being a big returner. I have a feeling that they're going to push on ahead with the... Do you guys remember the hot mess gimmick she had?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It was really good. She basically was like a jilted bride who was a psycho.
Yeah.
And that was her whole thing.
Are we not get? Who else did something similar? Did Mickey James do a similar gimmick back in the day?
Possibly. God, Mickey James, check that one off the list.
Also, that's so true.
Hardest part of the ring bingo.
Did Chelsea Green go to AEW for a bit as well, or am I making that
I
up?
think so, yeah. I feel like Chelsea Green is the kind of wrestler who knocks around all the different wrestling promotions but never stays at one for too long.
Yeah, her husband is
Zack?
Zack Ryder.
Matt
Yeah.
Cardona.
That's it, Matt Cardona. Zelina Vega, dressed as a Street Fighter character.
I thought this
Yeah.
was weird.
Check that one off the bingo
Yeah,
list.
Also, she's employed again.
Yeah,
And she's employed
Brilliant.
again. And she still gets to do her cosplay. Good for her.
Yeah.
One of my favourites, Raquel Rodriguez.
They're heavily behind her, aren't they? You can tell.
she's good.
I think she's a great wrestler. I love the Tecate bomb. I think that's such a cool finish.
I've got to say, I'm not a fan because she broke Bronze Heart, so I'd rather not discuss her.
That's fine. You got to stick up for your bros.
Exactly.
Fine. Okay, so this was a weird one. It's Mia Yim,
Yeah.
but
What did they call her?
now she's Mia Chin.
Michin or something.
Michin?
That
Michin?
just
Midget,
confused
yeah.
me for ages because I'm like,
I
who,
mean,
what? That no, that's not Michin. That's Mia something. And I was like trying to remember her name, and I was like, who is this person? I'm gonna have to Google this because I'm sure she's been in it before, and they referenced her being in it before and returning, and I was like, okay, what?
So she did all the Mia Yim taunts and did the Mia Yim finisher, and I was just like, is this like a sister or someone? And then,
but she's another one
Realised-
who's like come and gone and come and gone.
yeah.
And
Good,
Kind of-
great wrestler.
again,
though.
did she get to AEW at one point with Keith Lee? I don't.
Must have been. Must. Have.
Or
She was definitely
maybe.
in Impact, wasn't she? I think.
Lacey Evans, who
Yeah.
I thought WWE might have distanced themselves from for some interesting points of view, but
Oh yeah.
there we go.
Oh, I didn't
More
know
on that
about
later.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
later. I mean,
Uh,
WWE distancing themselves from dodgy things with Vince
Yeah,
returning
quite.
after
yes.
leaving for certain reasons.
Indy Hartwell, Sonya Deville, Shotzi, and Nikki Cross back with her Chaos. Was it Chaos? No, what was it called?
Sanity.
Yeah,
Sanity
Sanity.
gimmick.
I felt sorry for Nikki Cross because she sprinted all the way, and it's
Oh,
a
that
huge,
was-
great big entrance ramp. She must have been exhausted by the time she got
That
to the
was very entertaining,
Impressive.
though. Just that sprint. I laughed for like the 30 seconds it took her to get to the ring.
I love Psycho Nikki.
the kilometre
she's
she was running to the ring.
So entertaining and a great wrestler.
Yeah, totally missed the boat though. Like kind
Yeah.
of.
Nice to see Sonya Deville back wrestling as well after she was out for a
Yeah.
while. I do like her. Don't think she's amazing, but
I think she's a good
Yeah.
wrestler. I don't know if she's.
I remember really liking her when she was in NXT. She was quite like a heavy striker back in the day.
But this is the thing: is that I really like the tag team of Sonya and Mandy Rose, Fire and Desire. I thought that was.
such a
I
bad
thought
name.
that had a lot of potential.
Oh,
and now
sounds like,
Mandy
like some
Rose.
softcore roster you'd find on Channel 5
Well,
at
it's funny
2
you say
a.m.
that because Mandy Rose was obviously NXT champion for a long time, and then very unceremoniously removed from WWE for her other business endeavours. Is what the party line was from WWE.
it suddenly hit home to me then that we are four like 30 to 40-year-old men discussing wrestling on a podcast, and one of us has gone, I really like Fire and Desire. Oh my god.
I'm no way near 40, thank you. I'm still on the better side of 30, you bunch
I'm
of
very
old
near.
farts.
I won't comment on the other two. John's birthday was last week, right? Happy
Last
birthday,
week.
John.
Yes.
And then finally was Nia anti-vax.
I mean, who gives a fuck about this?
Yeah, we hate Nia Jax. I think that's one of the strong points we've ever had on this podcast.
And then they gave her the
The big spot, and there was no countdown.
the Incredible Hulk spot.
Yeah, but to get 30, and the crowd didn't give a fuck either, did they?
No.
I don't quite get the Nia Jax number
No.
30. It just...
Especially
It
you
feels
need
like-
someone, right? You need like some big surprise.
Yeah.
It feels like
Well, that's
maybe
this,
Nia Jax, the
Sasha.
interpretation of her and the actual kind of her ability are just two very different things. And I wonder if she wasn't The Rock's cousin, if she would have the same
Oh,
kind
absolutely
of
not. No way.
position.
It's
of
the
her.
same reason Tamina's still about, right? It's the connections.
Maybe. I tell you what, I sat down to watch Rumble the other night, put it on, and it started with the women's Rumble. I was like, oh, that's weird, because I thought Adam said the men's Rumble started, and the first entrant was Sasha Banks. I was like, whoa, she's back! But it was last year's Rumble I was watching.
I tell you what, that would have been a number 30.
That's what
Well,
I
yeah,
thought.
yeah.
But, I mean, unlikely. Nia Jax...
But there we go. So
Sorry, according to the Wikipedia, Nia Jax was eliminated by Asuka, Lacey Evans, Liv Morgan, Mia Yim, Michelle McCool, Nikki Cross,
All of
Piper
them.
Niven, Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, Shotzi, and Sonya Deville.
Well,
Did
I
I
was going
miss
to say,
Michelle McCool?
I don't think Rhea Ripley did though. Rhea Ripley said everyone get
She
her,
did
didn't
the
she? Which was
riptide
awesome.
on her, didn't
Right,
she?
right, right.
beforehand. Yeah.
yeah, I must have missed Michelle McCool there, who was in the Rumble for 15 minutes and eliminated 2 people.
You know, when I was watching that Rumble, it got quite late on in the entrance. I was like, oh, no Michelle McCool. I wonder if this is going to be the first Rumble where she doesn't turn up. Nope.
Looking less like The Undertaker than she did previously, so that's
There
good.
must be some contract thing where Undertaker, I'll come back and do one more, but Michelle McCool has to be in every women's Rumble that you ever do.
We should say,
It's weird.
before we move on to that Rhea Ripley is a worthy winner, right? She's...
Oh, yeah.
So,
Fucking
yeah,
great.
final 3, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Asuka. What a really good finish to the Rumble.
Yeah, it was really cool, like with the mist and stuff.
And you'd think...
Hanging on the edge.
But you'd think Becky Lynch would be in there, or you'd think Bayley would be in there, and to have those 3 instead. But yeah, great ending.
But the exits of like Becky Lynch and Bayley and Damage Control, that was really entertaining.
Yeah.
as
That
well,
was good.
so.
Yeah. I mean, that's the good thing about this women's division, is that they've got the depth to do things outside, away from the championships, which I think is a sign of the strength of the division.
It's great.
And seeing how Liv Morgan has developed and kind of gone to a top of the card wrestler is fantastic.
Yeah,
Yep, she's good.
very cool. And I fucking
So-
love Rhea Ripley. I feel like I keep saying it, or maybe that's just in private because we haven't been doing the
I
pod.
mean,
but
Do you remember when we watched her in the the very first Mae Young Classic, that when she was young?
completely
and
different
blonde?
look. Yeah.
It's crazy
Conforming
think
to
about
what she thought she needed to do to be successful, I reckon. And this is the real
Yeah.
Rhea. Cool as fuck. She took some big bumps, some botches from Dana Brooke, but also some just big bumps. She was taking some big hits.
So do you reckon she will pick Bianca
She's
or
picked Charlotte.
She's already picked Charlotte.
So-
Oh, a rematch of that, because obviously they had the lockdown one, didn't they, where it was no people there.
Oh, that was good. I'm actually hyped to watch WrestleMania. I'm not going to watch anything else before then. But I am.
2 nights,
Sam's
though.
pulling a face. It'll be good. You know, it'll be good. There'll be good moments. You don't have to do that pod. That's probably the next time we'll be back. Let's face it. I mean, we haven't talked about that. Maybe this is it forever.
Let's move on to the main event.
Shall we just quickly... We are going to do the main event, but should we, in a sentence, say the other matches? Just...
I didn't
Did you watch anything else?
the
I
No,
didn't
did you watch them, Brett? Oh, yeah, you did.
I watched them.
Any highlights, quick roundup, and then we can focus on the main event.
Yeah, the women's championship, it was fairly quick, so that was okay. It was not a good match. It was not a good match.
Yeah, I skipped through it.
What
The-
do you think's gone wrong there? Because both Bianca and Alexa are good wrestlers, so
I think Alexa's been
Is
off
it
the
just they
boil
weren't
for a
given enough
while.
time?
Though,
Yeah,
right?
maybe not enough time. I don't know. It just wasn't like a great booked match either. Like the spots, the flow just wasn't. It was really a damp squib. The Mountain Dew pitch black match. I mean, it looked
Loved how
awesome.
it looked. That's all I wanted to say. Looked fucking cool.
Like, I think it'll be my point about this whole pay-per-view is like there's some story stuff is really good in WWE. Wrestling wise, it's
Yes,
pity pants.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
there's been no, there's some great spots, but as matches go, like, I mean, give me, Cody versus Dustin, like for an hour, wrestling for an hour, and just like the story they can tell in the actual wrestling as opposed to storyline in the writer's room.
So there's a couple of things for me, which is like with AEW, I've decided I'm not going to watch any Jeff Jarrett matches. I don't like Jeff Jarrett as a wrestler. I don't want to watch any of his matches.
Jeff Jarrett has matches?
Yeah.
He's active.
Oh, yeah, he's
Oh
back,
my
baby.
God.
Yeah, that's part of the problem with AEW.
So
And I'm like, I'm
AEW
not-
are basically doing what all the others,
Isn't
like
it
make them
tag team,
fail,
right?
like
What's
TNA.
Yeah,
God.
yeah, exactly. Don't bring Jeff Jarrett in. He is basically chlamydia.
There'll be
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan next.
Yeah, exactly.
don't
so
It will.
with AEW, it's like I don't watch any Jeff Jarrett matches. I've decided with WWE, I don't watch any matches that are sponsored.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, it took me like halfway through the match to realise, this is like the KFC match.
Yeah,
Or that Cracker
unless
Barrel.
it's the KFC match.
Cracker Barrel
That's the
match.
exception that proves the rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Bray Wyatt's, like in so many of his matches, the gimmick and the look was fucking cool. The fact that he had face paint on, and then when the UV lights came on, it revealed different face paint, and then later they must have had different types of UV light, and it revealed different face paint. There's this uncle figure in a hat who's trying to recruit Alexa Bliss again. I kind of like all that stuff. And the match looked fucking cool. It looked fucking cool.
There was some
So it's worth
demony
referencing.
creatures on the top of a tower.
Yeah.
Was it a good match,
Although,
though?
also, no, it was a terrible match. But like an LA Knight, I mean, don't even know who the guy is.
No
but
idea why
I'm not a fan.
he's involved in that. Anyway.
I do think, though, like, there was a spot in it where the uncle character dove off a tower into LA Knight, but the camera angle was like, you couldn't see it. Basically, they just hit some boxes.
Sorry, who
Fell
is
for
this
it.
uncle character? Is it Bray's uncle?
I
have
can't
no
remember what
idea
they
who he
called him.
is. He has a big top hat.
It's just
All
the
right.
same old.
It's
And
not
you
Bob
don't see his
Shango,
face.
is it?
Uncle Howdy.
Like,
Uncle
He
Howdy.
attacked Bray Wyatt on SmackDown in December, and now he's...
I feel like with spots like that, they're constantly trying to recreate like Mankind jumping off a
He's
cage.
got a goatee. Go on.
But it's not the same because that's Mankind literally jumping off a cage onto people on the ground. It's not
Yeah.
Mankind jumping onto a bunch of crash mats and boxes. I don't want wrestlers to do what Mankind did, so don't get me wrong. I don't want them to
sounds like you do, though, Brett.
I mean, this is exactly like
but I'd rather they just not do it because it just looks terrible.
Mankind is my favourite wrestler of all time because he jumped off cages and didn't give a fuck and
Yeah.
basically smashed his teeth through his lips and was just like, yeah, man, have a nice day. That's great. And I just think
I think
that's what I'm missing from wrestling.
yeah, but I don't think we're ever going to have that again.
No, I don't think we're ever going to get that again either.
No.
That's
I
fine.
don't necessarily think that's a bad
We don't
thing.
want it again because none of us want to watch it. So,
Yeah.
just quickly, Uncle Howdy might be Bo Dallas.
Oh.
Good to see him at
That's
work.
one of the rumours.
But Bray will blatantly be released again in 4 months, right? Because as all the
'Cause
great
Vince is
ideas, plus all the
Well,
great
once
ideas he
WWE's
has,
been sold.
potentially, yeah. But his stuff never works when it goes into the ring. Like it all works with the promos and the video
Yeah.
packages, but as soon as he goes in the
And,
ring,
and
it just
the
falls
stories
apart.
he comes up with for it.
Yeah.
One
really
day,
good,
Bray
but-
Wyatt is going to be an amazing head of NXT in the same way that Albert is.
Yeah.
Oh, do you reckon?
No, maybe.
Can you imagine what the matches
Just
will
chuck
be like?
opinions out there. That's what we do. The main event. Should we talk about that?
Main event.
Main event.
Oh, yes. What was it for? The undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
Yeah. It was Glacier versus Kevin Owens.
Oh, that's harsh. I thought this was a great match.
Come at me.
I mean, I fucking love Roman
My
Reigns.
favourite thing in this match was as Roman was walking out, someone had a sign right behind him saying the big queef.
Oh, the tribal queef, wasn't it?
The tribal,
tribal
queef. I thought that,
Oh,
That
excellent.
was-
Good work. Good work,
yeah.
that person.
and they got it right at the right point. It was
That was good.
amazing.
Brett's point earlier that everything about WWE is good apart from the wrestling
Yeah, this match
is basically
was-
dead on.
Oh, I
this
thought
match
this was good.
garbage.
No.
Oh, guys.
I really enjoyed it.
I
They had
really
to-
enjoyed the story of this match. I
Yeah.
did really enjoy the story of this match, but I did not enjoy
It wasn't
the wrestling.
terrible.
But and I thought in the pre-packaged things, I saw stuff like with the Roman, like some of the
Loved the package stuff
like
to get up to speed.
the
Very handy.
storyline bits, and I thought he was so much better at that stuff now. Like he's really comfortable talking on the mic, doing a character, doing stuff.
Yeah,
I
really
thought
good.
that looked like really good, but yeah, the bits of wrestling was just spear.
Oh,
spear.
I thought it had good pace to it. It had a bit of the sort of New Japan finisher vibe about it.
It was a classic WWE main event.
Yeah, I like
Me
it.
and
That's
John
a
like
good reason
those.
we don't watch WWE main events
We
anymore.
like those.
Also, that spot where Kevin Owens went backwards onto the metal steps
Yes.
twice.
Oh
Fuck.
yeah, that was
Filthy. So
And
dangerous.
the-
Yeah.
Spear through the barricade was one of the best
Looked
spears through the
great.
barricades
Oh,
I've seen.
How
Yeah,
many
but
times
I've
do
seen-
you need to
yeah.
watch Roman Reigns spear someone
but
through
that's
that
when you
exact
appreciate
spot
the
of
really good
barricade?
ones, though.
And it's been 5 months. I enjoyed it.
I thought the
No,
match was great.
I'm agreeing with Sam on this point. Yeah, I didn't need to see that again. I wanted to see some. I'm okay seeing him bring out the hits. Just bring something new.
If you are
Something
going
slightly
to
different.
make a person champion for the best part of 3 years and book them as invincible, you better make sure they are basically Okada or Kenny Omega in the ring. And Roman Reigns is neither of those people. He is boring to watch. He has about 4 different moves and then eventually just starts going, acknowledge me, and then just does Superman
Although, I mean,
punches, and that's the end.
Okada's not got a huge moveset.
And yet he executes it really well.
Well, I just feel this is a bit of New Japan bias
I
coming
mean,
through.
I think we can agree that Okada's better than Roman Reigns. John.
Can we?
I mean, look, I love what they've done with the story here. I think it's fantastic to see Sami Zayn at the top of the card having
Yeah.
kind of main event status, and quite frankly has been the most entertaining thing about WWE now for a long time. He was the best part of WrestleMania with his match against Johnny Knoxville, for goodness sake.
Oh my god, yeah, do you remember that? Wow.
Like,
I mean, we haven't been watching
Sammy-
it for months, so we can't
no,
say.
but like the only thing you ever see about WWE, like on socials, is Sami Zayn said this, Sami Zayn did that. He's basically the best thing about like WWE, but is that they're never going to push him as the top wrestler.
Well, it
which
feels
is-
like
which is
they
fine.
kind of have to a little bit. Like the reaction he got.
I mean, people love him. That's the thing, because he is so
yeah,
charismatic.
if Cody hadn't have won the Rumble, and obviously is going to target Reigns, it felt as if it was going to be a Sammy smacking Roman, and then that was going to be maybe will lead up to a main event, and it'll be a big baby face. Sammy comes along, wins the title at WrestleMania.
I would be watching wrestling week in, week out if Sami Zayn was in that position and actually credible.
But yeah, obviously you've got Cody in the picture. It feels like maybe they wouldn't do that with Sammy anyway.
2 belts, 2 nights of WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, a lot of people are saying Jey Uso
Yeah, but at the same
is the
time,
big...
I mean, I don't know how much of this, and obviously the Saudi deal hasn't even happened, has it? But if Saudis are in charge, they're not going to want Sami Zayn as champ.
If Saudis are in charge,
No, that's
Sami
fair.
should leave WWE.
I'm sure he probably will.
Yeah. But
Because he can do
I
better.
remember when the Sammy stuff started, the honorary Oos, and it was just like, okay, so they're just putting him there to fill some time,
Yeah,
and
it,
not sure.
it felt very
It
throwaway
did.
at the time.
And it's
didn't
like,
it?
well, that's a shame because
Yeah.
that's a good faction, and they're actually related, and now this is like a silly, but he's fucking made it work as you'd expect.
I mean, that's the thing about Sami Zayn. This is what I loved about him back in NXT, is he's really goofy, but he's quite lovable. And even as a heel, he's quite lovable.
He is.
Him and Kevin Owens have such good chemistry.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't mind if the WrestleMania match for him and Kevin Owens was maybe for the tag title belts against the Usos, if that kind of comes across in some way. I don't think it will, but
That could be amazing.
I wouldn't mind that as like a payoff to the story, because let's be honest, like
That makes sense.
Cody
actually.
is the one who is going in against Roman. He's
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
guy,
Well,
the
if-
chosen one.
It feels like the follow-on from this is going to be the filler matches before WrestleMania.
I think
Yeah.
it's too big.
Yeah, but I think it wouldn't be the first time that they blow a big story just for filler, and then just have the usual guys in the main
Also-
events on the big shows.
I know what you're saying with WWE. Like traditionally, it would be that, But it's not Vince anymore in creative, and they've been telling the Sammy story for.
Is it not Vince in creative?
But
For
it is
a
Vince
long
back in
time.
creative.
Well, I said this.
Vince is back.
I was saying this to Pip the other day, and then he was like, "People keep going on about Vince being back. He's not really back. He's just back in some advisory role. But because numbers are so up, I think there's acknowledgement that things are going well, and that maybe he shouldn't start meddling. I know it's Vince, so who fucking knows?
The thing is that at the end of the day,
Vince is a
the
control
history
freak and it's his
is
baby.
I don't trust WWE to do right by what they've got, because all of these rumours about the Saudi deal, Vince coming back, all of the sexual assault stuff, where's that gone? Like, brushed under the table. And like, that's the stuff that I feel has pushed me the furthest away from wrestling, is just all of the crap around it, which is like, I don't like this because it supports this.
It's quite sad, really.
Vince coming back is a real fly in the ointment or a turd in the punch bowl, in my opinion.
Things felt really positive, didn't they?
Didn't Stephanie resign the day of?
Yeah,
you know,
she did.
All I'm saying
weird.
is we haven't podded for months because we feel this way, but now we are podding. So let's just let's enjoy the moment and look at some positives.
Well, I mean, how did everyone enjoy the Rumble overall? Going back into WWE and we were watching this stuff.
I was trying to think about doing a rating. If we were doing the classic ranking, I mean, I saw. The comms team said that was one of possibly the greatest men's Rumble of all time. That's what Michael Cole said, and I thought
it was good. It's not great.
Obviously, they do overhype stuff, but wow, it was not that good. Was it at all?
No, I thought it was really,
but as
really
in
good.
One of the greatest of all time.
No.
I think I'd give the whole thing like a 7. I enjoyed being back to. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed watching it as just a fan, as a bit of sports entertainment. It was fun for that.
I think I'd find it very hard to rate WWE in a way which I feel is fair based on its content. Like a standalone, it was fine. I think kind of just bigger. I'm not following it. I don't really care about any of the wrestlers, and I didn't see any wrestling that I thought was very good. Like, I thought the best moment was Logan Paul bumping into Ricochet. So
That was a phenomenal moment.
Got to watch Gunther wrestle for an hour. This is a 9 out of 10 for me, guys.
2 out of 10 from Sam, 9 out of 10 from John. A couple of 7s from me and Brett, or maybe a 7 and a 6.
I would know a 6. Yeah, 6
There
from
you
me.
go.
Because if the wrestling was better, because I did enjoy the show. Like not having watched any for ages and just sitting down and watching it, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun, but none of the wrestling was particularly, it was very middling, but the storyline stuff was fun. The things, the different sort of bits going on in the Rumbles and obviously in the main event match, and the bit of fun forgetting the wrestling in the Mountain Dew pitch black business.
In many ways, like the Rumble's like the best and worst pay-per-view to come back on. It's the best because it's fun and enjoyable, and there's just loads of entrants and it's like cool wrestlers coming in. But it's the worst because it's not great wrestling in a Rumble, right?
No, you can't.
And
can't be
it did
really.
sort of lack one of the biggest things. I mean, I guess everyone was a surprise to us because we haven't been watching. But the most fun with the Rumbles was like the unknown. Which legend or which person have they managed to rope in to turn up? Which celebrity?
Watch,
Johnny Knoxville or what people they get in is like. That's the fun bit because it's the surprise. You can't predict it.
When NXT was at its peak and it was full of indie wrestlers that we loved, the idea of Pete Dunne's in the Rumble. On this Rumble, Pete Dunne's coming out and cheering along Sheamus. Meanwhile, the guy who took his title off him, the NXT UK Championship, is in there for an absolute ages getting a proper push. Pete Dunne, man. Pete Dunne. Anyway, but yeah.
It's because he got ripped. She's never got ripped.
I know. I mean, I'm sure he's loving life. He's got a full-time contract with WWE. He's moved out to the States full-time. He's probably getting paid an awful lot of money. He's hanging out with cool people. But he just had so much potential, and it's such a shame. I heard a podcast, somebody talking about that match. It was William Regal on Pip's podcast, Scroobius Pip's podcast, and talking about the Tyler Bate Pete Dunne match, and had some cool insight into some of the stuff that the backstage people were calling through to the ref and stuff. It's worth a listen, but it just made me remember how exciting that period was for us as fans.
That match.
Where's Tyler Bate? Is he still?
I don't know.
No idea.
Because I
point.
like initially I was like I jumped on the, when they were first sort of about, I jumped on the Pete Dunne thing, but then I realised no, Tyler Bate is for me the more interesting wrestler.
Yeah, I'm just on
And I thought the better wrestler.
Yeah, probably.
because he lost the NXT UK Championship to when they had the Worlds Collide thing and it unified with Breaker. Is that right?
Yeah, he did have a match with Breaker. Apparently, it was quite good.
I didn't. Anyway, who knows? Because NXT UK doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Nope.
Anyway,
Surprise, surprise.
Yep.
there we go.
It's not like WWE did everything that all the indie fans were saying they were going to do to the indie scene over here.
Let's have
Sorry.
let's have a little break.
That's the exact opposite of what Adam wanted
only
at that
joking.
point.
Let's have a little break. It's amazing that we've even done this. We'll have a little break. We'll get all our size out, and then we'll talk about what our plans might be, and we'll wrap things up. And we'll ask you to donate to our Ko-fi because it's been ages, and why not? And we'll do that after this break.
Andrade. Oh, the pendulum DDT on the apron. We've talked so much about the apron tonight and how damaging it is when one lands on it.
Okay, so we've just realised it's probably bad form to ask for a Ko-fi, but if you know the link, then head over there. But we're not going to give it out. The future of the pod. Basically, obviously, we haven't done a pod for ages because as you
If we don't, I'd have to watch it.
I
It's
reckon
WrestleMania.
John right now has just done a Jedi mind trick on me because he's looking very Obi-Wan Kenobi
yeah,
with the beard and the
it's like a robe, isn't it? It's a
the,
hoodie,
like
but
khaki hoodie and that brown shirt. I feel like I've just been I'm there.
I've got to watch Cody versus Roman and Charlotte Rhea. Oh,
I'm less interested in Cody Robert because that will be a very slow match.
Yeah.
it's true. It's true.
Will there be any blood?
Oh,
No, that's the thing.
That's true. They
Cody
did say
match
blood.
without
They
blood.
They mentioned blood, didn't they? When Pat McAfee at one point was like, "Oh, and there's some blood," and they actually said it and they referenced it for a change. Anyway,
Cody will want to blade so hard for that match.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, social media wise, there's absolutely no point because we haven't updated any of our stuff for absolutely ages. The email is still hardestpartofthering@gmail.com. You never know, somebody might have heard this and want to get in touch with something. But if not, I've really enjoyed being back for a one-off special episode.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
Yes. It has been fun.
And
I love Sam's energy.
Sam's thinking about his macaroni and cheese.
he's got macaroni.
He's got 2 more pots to cook tonight.
He's like,
He's got it.
He's not going to bed until 1.
this has probably been sat out too long now.
Literally.
Has it gone to that temperature where
I
I'm going to
am
make myself
quite
super
worried.
ill?
I have a lot of mac and a lot of cheese and an oven to put it in.
Exciting. What?
And do you know what the difficult part is as well? Is I've got to position them. So there's one mac and cheese with like bits of bacon in, and there's 2 vegetarian ones, right?
Okay.
And I've got to position them in the oven so that the one with meat in doesn't drip into the vegetarian ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put that one at the bottom.
But like,
So put them on
Yeah.
the top and the meat on the bottom.
but now it's been a good hour and a half, and I don't know which one's which anymore. So
Ooh. Tune in next time to find out if we remember.
we'll see.
How do we wrap
I
this
bet
up?
next time we do a pod, I bet Sam is still working his way through those mac and cheeses.
I wouldn't be
It could be
surprised.
like 3 months. It could be next year.
Anyway, thank you to whoever did stay subscribed to the pod. I reckon we'll have at least 10 listeners. But yeah, maybe Carl Luckhurst, Heel Nick Payne, if you're out there, any of the OGs, let us know. But until next time, which will probably be WrestleMania, if at all. Goodbye from me, Adam. Goodbye, Sam.
See you later.
Goodbye, John.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Brett.
Bye.
That was the hardest part of the ring.
That is the hardest part of that ring. On the hardest